Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Atelier Ryza, episode 3. I thought for a moment that I have caught up, that we're gonna be watching episode 4 now, but no. No, episode 3, we still have to go through it before we can go to episode 4, and episode 5 is coming out this week as well, so I'm not gonna be caught up that easily, unfortunately. Regardless, yeah, my cat is still sleeping. Regardless, let's talk a little bit about what happened in episode 2. In episode 2, our heroes went on their first proper adventure. Proper adventure meaning adventure with danger and adventure with a goal. I don't think, or rather I do believe that they went on some adventures before, but those were mostly child adventures, so to speak, right? Oh, let's go to the forest and have a little bit of fun, or let's go see the fishermen fish some fish on the other side of the island. And you know, those were those kinds of adventures in a fairly safe environment without any particular concrete goal, but rather just adventuring for the sake of adventuring. This time around, they had a goal to find a certain flower, and it wasn't a superfluous goal either. There was actually a lead up to that goal, right? Ryza wants to learn alchemy, and to do that she wants to make a special ointment, and to do that special ointment she needs a special flower that doesn't grow here, and thus they need to procure that flower. There is a whole chain of events leading to that. It's not just a randomly established goal of I don't know, let's look for a stick, you know. It's something that was actually needed, actually necessary, and some good and proper danger. Again, I don't doubt that their previous adventures also had a little bit of danger to them. You know, falling off a cliff, maybe being attacked by wild boars or something like that. There certainly are some dangers on this island as well. But this time around, they were in an unfamiliar environment, being attacked by unfamiliar creatures. By good and proper monsters, no less. So that kind of elevates the kind of danger they experienced. And that was basically the episode. Ryza trying to find the ingredients, learning about them, and then eventually having to adventure for a missing ingredient, and sorry, it's late, and preparing some ointment, and then almost immediately after, using it on a child that scraped his knee. So we have that like full journey essentially encompassed in a single episode. Our hero wants to do something good. There is an obstacle on their way. They overcome that obstacle and they do some good because they managed to overcome the obstacle. A very nice, self-contained episode that tells us a lot. And we also got a little bit of an insight in the alchemy system. I'm assuming it works the same in the game, where you have some concrete, particular ingredients that you must have. I know, celery and tomato, and then you have some ingredients that aren't entirely specified. Bitter herb, for example, so any herb that is bitter will do just fine. You don't have to bring any specific one. And I think everybody besides Tao benefited directly, somewhat. Ryza benefited because she learned, because she now has a little bit of or Empel has a little bit of better image of her, I'm assuming. Lent was also praised by Lila, as much as Lila can give anybody some praise. So besides Tao, everybody benefited mentally, so to speak, from that. But everybody also gets some training as well. Tao has had to find his book, found it, now he has to study it. Lent also has some tasks, cartography and whatnot, and Ryza, of course, preparing alchemical things. That episode, as I said, was very self-contained. It doesn't really have any, progression prepared for us. It didn't end with any cliffhanger. It didn't end with anybody saying, oh, let's see what else we can do, or let's see what the next recipe is in the book, or anything like that. So it's gonna be kinda hard to tell what we can expect from this episode. Perhaps a search for some other ingredients, for some other thing. Perhaps we will continue the plot line of Lent and his dysfunctional family. That might be something that happens. Maybe we're gonna explore some ruins. I think it might still be too early for that, for our main trio, but perhaps we will follow Empel and Lila for a bit and go with them to explore the ruins. If you see me glancing to the right a little bit, I made a website. It's available to everybody, ngest.cc. This one in particular is seasons.ngest.cc. I prepared it initially as a better way to view seasonal shows, because I'm really bothered by the way Annulist just takes its sweet time to load further shows, and scroll bars in those tiny little windows don't work, and 18 plus content is just shown in plain view. So I wrote my own front end, and I also added a way to search for a show and display all the characters from that show in a very easy way. Portrait name, portrait name, portrait name. So now whenever a show appears that has 17 main characters introduced in episode 1, I'm gonna have a very nice reference to all of them. Okay, I think that about does it for the intro, so we should just start watching it. A green tea with lemon peel. Okay, to watch this show, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask for your support, monetary on Patreon, for example, down below in the description, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 3 of Ryza Atelier in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, getting his mixing stuff. Interesting. She's the first one to get some gear upgrade. I wonder if Lent will also eventually get a better sword. Tao's hammer is perfectly fine as it is, so... Or maybe he's gonna get a mace or something. Ah. Okay, another show where Every other episode we get Japanese subtitles, and every other we get English. I need to give my glasses some good and proper deep cleaning. Or maybe even get a new pair, those are kind of scratched. Atelier Ryza animation. A memorable scent. Why do those bags have spikes on them? Surely a spiky bag is not a requirement for storing alchemical ingredients. Are you gonna tell your parents that you're an alchemist? Or are you not going to do that? Hello, Claudia. Invincible Ryza, that's a nickname and a half. Let me guess, Claudia will want to join in on the fun? Exactly. We can have some tea and crumpets. Like little Ojo-samas that we both are. Okay, I was about to ask, what's that? Is he a blacksmith or what? No, he dyes things and is also a tailor. Oh, is she going to lose it on her adventure? And that's gonna be a whole plot of her trying to retrieve it. Can you alchemize some fabric? Apparently you can. Why even bother weaving if you can just throw some, I don't know, wool into the cauldron, stir it around, and you get pretty fabric? I guess alchemy is rare, so... Can't you alchemize some cookies? Okay. We get to learn what's in the box. A flute? An oboe? A flute. Why does your father not like you practicing flute? Yeah? Did her mother used to play flute and his father doesn't like to be reminded of her death or something like that? Let's do it now. Okay. I thought she was about to ask to join the adventure. She's not bad with a bow after all, so... And we kinda are missing a ranger in our party. Well, wouldn't you know, I got the ointment just for that. Exactly. Surprising. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, apparently not. Oh, so Ryza is going to have some allies in the world of adults. You live in the same exact fucking village, my dude. You really can't just walk next street over where he has his diary. Diary, is that a word for a place where you dye fabric? Uh. Yeah, the one that grows on the other shore, exactly. From Pat. Okay, so a different flower then. Is Ryza gonna try to find that flower? It was anonymous. Of course. Ah, yeah, yeah. You don't have ingredients to make more because you didn't bother to gather more. Okay. Okay. Don't ask. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right? Or ask. It's not gonna hurt to ask. Because you just can't say no. And you get adopted by two extroverts. I mean, yeah, that's it, but those aren't easy things. They require awareness of your surroundings and whatnot. That's not a trumpet. I mean, gather those flowers anyway, you might find use for them. Oh, hello, Claudia. Okay. Okay. What ways exactly? Getting impatient. Monsters? Oh, just a normal goat. Seemingly. Uh, ask them to go with you, no? Are you gonna find your way back? Oh, you are? Okay. So that went without a hitch. Does it need, like, a dash of alchemy to it? Or was the person who sent it a perfumer, perhaps? And, like, prepared the scent and scented it artificially? That's sad. Yeah, Ryza doesn't wallow. Ryza has a one-track mind. She needs to find a solution. She wants to find a solution. Yeah, she's not just gonna say, "Oh, yeah, whatever. I guess we didn't do that." No, Claudia. Okay, nice thigh shot. Yeah, it's good to always have an excuse. Don't ogle her clothes. I got you some fabric. It's already pre-dyed in stripes. Alchemy. Okay, so she's not keeping it a secret. That's good. I was afraid it's gonna be like a big secret that she's learning alchemy. Okay, straight out with it. Not beating around the bush. Okay, so it wasn't some anonymous love letter. He just had a Tehepero moment. Okay, so Claudia the detective. I'm still a tailor, but I used to be a tailor as well. Gonna spray it on that flower. Alchemy time. Do you know the ingredients, perchance? Yeah, she's an alchemist. Of course. Do you know the ingredients, though? I have to repeat my question. Don't get too cocky. I mean, no harm trying. Okay, so the ingredient is just that leaf? No, leaf, rainbow grapes, a vial of blood, apparently. No wonder it's hard to make. You need the blood of a virgin or something. Is that animation gonna be a thing whenever we synthesize something? No, a hint of a smile on his face. Okay, so it's a magic dust kind of a scent. Okay. And visit Pat. And Matt. Oh, you're including Claudia? And what is this place? Oh, she's gonna play? She's gonna play. And is... Oh, I was about to ask, is that going to be our ending? But the ending is playing right now. And is the episode going to end right before she manages to play? Or is she actually going to play some notes? We have like a minute left. Okay, so Walter is dead. You're very eloquent, Ryza. Weird question, perhaps, but do people ship those two? I have a feeling like they would. uh, okay. That was a cool episode. And the feeling I have now is that we should watch it again. Of course, as always. Gear upgrade. I'm gonna be honest, I actually liked it a little better when she was using the flail. Like, sure, this stuff is cool and all, but the flail had some, rustic charm to it, signifying that she's not a, full-blown alchemist from a school of alchemy and making millions, billions of monies, whatever their currency is, but rather she's the daughter of a farmer, so she does alchemy with a flail. I really liked that bit, and I was hoping that perhaps she will upgrade her flail to one with like a metal shell on it or some metal rings or something, but not jump straight into a staff. I was also hoping that she would use alchemy to procure better gear for herself and her friends. Just being given a staff by Empel, I guess it's good in the symbolism kind of way, right? The master passing the baton to the student, right? That makes perfect sense and works really well. But I really liked the flail. But apparently the staff makes it easier to synthesize items. OP. Yeah, that's goat. It's also in the opening. I wonder if that goat is gonna lead Ryza to some more ingredients in the future. I wonder if that's gonna be a thing, actually. A memorable scent. Gathering some durian. I guess she made more of the ointment. Yeah, I don't know if those are reagents, ingredients, or are those final product. I'm not sure. I guess they're a final product, because why would a spiky sack be an ingredient? Where do you even get a spiky sack? So it's probably a product. Some mana potions, maybe some healing ointment. So I guess Ryza giving away that jar to that old lady isn't bad. She's not getting rid of her only way to heal herself and her allies. Important business. I'm an alchemist, Mom. You don't understand. You wouldn't understand. I'm an alchemist. Yeah, why does she not just say, yo, I'm an alchemist. I have alchemical business to attend to. I have a teacher and I have like my studies and I need to make things to learn. And I'm gonna be raking up millions of money. And hey, I can make you some fertilizer so our squishy fruits or whatever they're called, the eggplant tomato things grow better. But no. You go run an errand. Not even the invincible Ryza. That's an interesting nickname for Ryza, who's just a beginner, really. She doesn't deserve the title of invincible. But I guess there are like two elements to that. One would be perhaps speaking in jest a little bit, and the other would be Claudia admiring Ryza. I think there is a fair bit of admiration. I mean, just look at how much Claudia is staring at her, right? I think Claudia admires Ryza that she just goes on adventures just like that. Despite her mother, despite her parents, she just goes off to the other side of the island. Unthinkable. I would also like to do that, and Ryza can do that. Gosh, she's so great. You know, a little bit of that kind of an admiration. She's not envious of Ryza that, oh, why can she do that but I cannot? But rather she admires her because she can do something that Claudia herself cannot. And also Lent and Tao. And then there's Claudia, who is yet to find her calling. Lent found his calling, Tao found his. Ryza found hers, but not Claudia. She's the missing fourth piece to our team. Initially, I thought that that he's a blacksmith or something, that those vats in the background are maybe where he melts metal, or maybe there's some weird Japanese furnaces or something like that. But I guess it would make more sense that he is a tailor and also does some dyeing. Although why would a tailor need a wrench and some carving tools? I don't know, maybe those are just generic tools displayed on the wall. A young apprentice wants to study under me. Okay, that's cool. I wonder who that is. Someone we know or someone we do not? Rasen dye using rainbow grapes as the pigment. And apparently the dress was turned into a ribbon. I really thought, after how much they talked about this ribbon, that there's gonna be a plot of, I don't know, the ribbon comes undone and falls into a into a pit, and Ryza is like, oh no, I need to go there, I need to retrieve the ribbon, and her friends are trying to stop her. You know, the classic. But no, it turns out it's not actually relevant yet. But I might actually note it down, because it's like the existence of that ribbon really almost asks for it to be used, for it to be utilized. Ryza's bag ribbon plays a role in some way. Not sure what way exactly might that be, but it will be important somehow. There we go. Lost Fox for a moment. Fabric. Alchemy is crazy. Like, besides just making substances, you can just make things. I didn't know rainbow grapes could be used in dyes, not just alchemy. What's the distinction between, like, alchemizing an item and actually making that item? Right? Like, yeah, that's actually a good question. Let's say you use those rainbow grapes and calcium dioxide and a little bit of ash, and you stir it together and you let it sit for a week. Then you boil it, strain it, and let it stick for another week, and you get beautiful red dye or something like that. If you throw a rock that contains calcium dioxide and rainbow grapes and some ash into the cauldron and you stir it around, and you get the same dye. Is that how it works, maybe? Because you can, we know that you can synthesize items that aren't just alchemical items, quote unquote. Because a potion, sure, it can be an alchemical item, strictly speaking. Perhaps there is no way to actually turn this set of herbs into a paste that heals all wounds, right? But there's a way to alchemize it. But you can alchemize some fabric, and you can also make the fabric by hand. So are the ingredients the same? And you simply use less time, just throwing some cotton into the vat, maybe throwing some red berries for dye, and you stir it around, and you get a bale of fabric out of it. And those same ingredients you would use to make the fabric manually. So it just saves you time, is what I'm trying to say here. So much to learn, indeed. CG House? I'm not sure. Yeah, I respect you 3 times more. There is some admiration in Claudia. I needed to find courage as well. I was wondering what that courage bit is gonna be about, what this box is gonna be about. I thought that it might be courage to go for an adventure with Ryza, and that she actually has a bow and a quiver stored in this box. But no, it turns out she has a flute, and the courage is to play it for Ryza. I wonder what's the story. My bet is Claudia's mother used to play the flute, and she died, and her father doesn't like it being played because it reminds him of his dead wife. Let me note it down, actually. Claudia's mother. Oh, it's actually with K, not C. Claudia's mother used to play flute and died. And her last gift to her daughter was perhaps this case with the flute inside. Not quite ready yet, but I will muster some courage. Finding Barb, giving her some ointment. I was afraid. Maybe afraid isn't the correct word, but I thought that Ryza is going to be trying to hide the fact that she's an alchemist from everybody for some reason unknown to me, and that it's going to be a big thing because oh no, Lambar's support discovered that I'm an alchemist, and now boss will report me to the secret police, or something along those lines. But no, it turns out she's fairly open about it. Where'd you get the ointment? Oh, I alchemized it. Where'd you get the fabric? Oh, I alchemized it. She's not bragging about it, but she's, honest about the source of the things she makes. 3 brats of the village. Walter, Pat, and Barb. My legs have gotten so bad I can travel. And apparently the ointment didn't just heal her immediate injury that made her sit here, but also healed her leg condition that she now is able to go visit Pat because her legs are good again. That's some powerful ointment. Flower with strong scent. Yeah, I was concerned that Ryza is giving it away because what if they decide to go on an adventure and there's no more healing ointment? But I guess she did make more. I just didn't notice it, or I think I just didn't see those jars with green stuff as the ointment for some reason. That raises a question though, where did she get more ingredients? Or did she actually do the smart thing and brought more ingredients with her the first time they were on the island looking for them? Going for a flower. Interesting that Empel agreed, despite the flower not really having any, or at least as far as we know, it didn't have any alchemical use. It was just a flower. But I guess it does well for Lent to get some first-hand experience with Lila. Let's go a bit further and find some more alchemy materials. Yes, we get what we came for and leave. See, on one hand, I can see it actually being a good thing, right? We get what we want and we fucking bail because it's dangerous over here, and that's kind of the warrior's way of thinking, so to speak. There's a task, you fulfill it, and then you remove yourself from the danger as fast as possible. That's essentially also Lila's school of fighting. If you can just not fight, do not fight. Simple as. Don't put yourself in danger if you can avoid it. But I think I subscribe to Ryza's thinking a little bit more. As long as it's not a major deter, right? If you see some flowers like 5 meters from you, go there, grab those flowers. They might prove to be useful. It's certainly much safer to grab those random things while you're already here than to have to organize another expedition and another expedition and another expedition, right? You limit the opportunities for hurt, essentially. So I think Ryza is actually more in the right here. While we're here, while we're already in danger, we grab what we can, and then we bail. Way of the warrior. Stay calm, keep your guard up, and have an exit prepared. And of course, Lent is very, very sad about it, because he thought the way of the warrior is gonna be swing real fucking hard, and that's essentially it. He wants action, right? He wants to just come in, pow pow pow, and defeat his enemies, be strong, get +10 to strength after his first training, and just be the swordsman of legends immediately. Meanwhile, Lila's way of teaching is, hey, check your surroundings. Make sure you have an out prepared, or even like 2. If you have 2 escape routes prepared, that's even better. Don't engage in combat if you don't have to, right? Lent's way of the warrior, quote unquote, the way he sees warriors is more like not necessarily gladiatorial, but like knights and gladiators to a degree as well. right? Standing in the arena and fighting for honor and glory, and protecting his friends heroically with a shield and a sword, except he doesn't have a shield for some reason. Meanwhile, Lila is much more about the survivalist aspect, right? You're 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 going against all odds. You're in the middle of the wilderness. Task: survive. So there is a little bit of that clash of ideals. The warrior protector who saves lives, and the warrior knight, the glorious warrior that Lent seemingly wants to be. He will certainly, almost certainly, because it can go two ways. Either Lent will have a moment where he breaks, and the standard classic breakup between a teacher and a student, and then student fails and sees that the teacher was right and comes back, and the teacher takes them back in, and now, from now on, the student follows the teachings of the teacher. That's a classic. So I can very easily see Lent being like, oh no, okay, we don't need to notify Lila about it. I can manage, I can go into combat, and he loses to some monsters and Lila has to rescue him. And then he's like, well, damn, you were right about environmental awareness actually, because I stepped into a ditch and I tripped, and that's when the monster attacked me. Either that is what's going to happen, or he will be slowly molded by Lila in her own image. He will start seeing himself, right? That despite what his heart tells him to go straight for the monster and start swinging around, he listens to Lila's words and he doesn't, and the monster doesn't attack, and everybody can extract safely. And he sees, oh, that actually helped me protect my friends, right? He goes into some area he doesn't really want to check the surroundings, but he does so anyway, and then he uses the surroundings to win a battle against a monster. And he thinks, hey, Lila was correct again, actually. And he gets slowly molded into Lila's image. Could go both ways. Yellow shaped like a trumpet. Nope. Yeah, only one flower that fits the description, but doesn't have a strong scent. I think like I'm way too tired and way too sleepy right now, because I feel like I'm slurring my words every now and then. Tell me in the comments if you can actually hear me slur my words. Because, yeah, I sometimes, especially early on when I was starting the anime reactions on the channel, I would very often record very late and very tired. And every time after recording and after listening to some of it, I could hear myself hearing me slur some words, and my speech skill dropped like 10 points. Immediately when I was tired, but I'm still not sure if other people can actually hear it. So tell me, is this video to you, from your standpoint, no different than any other as far as my speech is concerned, or do you actually hear me slur my words and it's just me going mad, crazy, and thinking that I somehow gain a speech impediment whenever I'm tired, whereas I don't actually do that? Okay, let's continue. Even if you're not with Ryza, there are ways you can help her. I was wondering what it's all about, but it turns out that Empel also had his suspicions that perhaps the flower got its scent from elsewhere. And Claudia was able to deduct where that scent came from. I don't think I provide any value by being here. They actually don't. But we get a little bit of an insight into Lent's thinking, a little bit more like concrete insight. I want to get stronger as soon as possible, and Lila doesn't fucking want to teach me how to be strong. It's a little bit of the trope as well of it was like 90s movies with karate and all those martial arts, right? Karate Kid and whatnot. The teacher, Master Wu or something like that, with a beard and some and then some, you know, thin gray mustache, teaching them, oh, go wash the windows. And no, I don't want to wash the windows. And then it turns out that it's actually some super powerful chakra chi move or something. It's very much giving me those vibes. Random goat, and for how much Lila is all about environmental awareness, she seems to not have noticed Ryza going away, but sure. Maybe she did notice and was ready to jump into action at a moment's notice, just didn't show it. And the random goat just brought Ryza to this singular random flower, and yeah, it's here. It is the flower from the letter, but it doesn't have the correct scent. This is a very interesting difference in Claudia's and Ryza's dispositions. Claudia is ready to give up. To give up and to already, like, say sorry and make excuses. Oh, I thought it might be the wrong flower. Maybe another flower actually exists. Maybe something, maybe something. And, you know, already trying to say sorry and whatnot. Meanwhile, Ryza, no. No, I'm not gonna waste time saying my excuses. I'm just gonna jump into action to make things better. Because wallowing in pity doesn't change anything. Action does. So, she takes action. Why do you think a flower could have different scents? And I think it might be yet another reason for Claudia to admire Ryza. How headstrong she is. How Claudia is ready to just give up and forget, like the old people are. Meanwhile, Ryza just doesn't give up, doesn't forget. That's an interesting wear for beds. I guess she just dropped off her jacket and went to sleep with her clothes on. Ah. How do you get a good night's sleep with your clothes on? It's really stifling. And you also feel dirty. At least I do. I always shower in the evening before going to sleep because I cannot stand the thought of getting into my bed, into clean sheets, into clean pajamas, dirty with grime and sweat and the dust of the whole day. Ugh. And also going into bed in my sweaty, grimy clothes, dirty from the whole day of going places, right? Take a shower, wear some pajamas or at least pajama pants or something, get into clean, fragrant sheets, and then I can doze off and have a good night's sleep. So I guess I admire Ryza that she's able to get a good night's sleep just, you know, dirty from the whole day of adventuring and still in her clothes. And without any cover. Aren't you afraid that monsters are gonna get your legs? I am. Yeah, she's, you know, wavering. She's kind of a scaredy cat, Claudia. Ryza is her exact opposite in that regard. And also finding solutions immediately. You don't want to talk about the question? Sure, of course, no problem. We're gonna start with delivering the fabric, and then coincidentally, we will change the topic. Cadence of the sewing. Is that a thing? Does sewing have cadence to it? Ah. Fabric already already died. I hope you needed some striped fabric, because that's the only kind that actually comes out of the cauldron. And she's very open about alchemy. I really thought that she's gonna start, you know, trying to find excuses here, or maybe saying, oh, it's a mystery or stuff like that. But no, she's very straightforward. It's alchemy. I'm an alchemist. Praise me. The scent of Delphi Rose incense. We learn about the secret that he simply forgot to sign the letter. And all this time I thought it might have been an anonymous letter professing the love for Barbara or something like that. But no, no love triangle, at least seemingly, at least as of yet. Although I guess with the other one dead, it's not going to be a love triangle anymore. Whatever. But yeah, I really was expecting a little bit of that sort of a drama, but it turns out he just forgot to sign it. I actually like it. I actually like how simple and kind of anticlimactic it is. And Claudia, the detective. And very knowledgeable as well. I think I'm constantly trying to find some roles in a team for everybody, right? Ryza, the alchemist, the healer of the team, and also magic DPS, I'm assuming, maybe. Then there's Lent, the physical DPS, Tao, also physical DPS, so maybe Lent would be a tank. Then we have Claudia, the archer, sure, but also the roles as in Lent, the brawn, the muscle of the group, Tao, the book knowledge, Ryza, the spirit of the team, and also alchemical knowledge, and Claudia, the street smarts and the ability to deduct things. Maybe just, you know, a rough sketch. There's no more of this incense, so how do you protect your tailored clothes from moths and stuff? Apparently you don't do that anymore. Maybe. Oh. Mahaha. And yeah, if we don't have it, we can just make it. I mean, alchemy, bitch. Fairly high amount of skill, difficult to gather all the materials. Apparently not all that difficult, at least, okay, this one might have been difficult. Rare material. And some other random ingredients. Cutscene. Shorter than the last time, but still. And also I just noticed Ryza has a belly button window. Like a cutout in her shirt, made precisely for the purpose of showing off her belly button. God, her design is horny. She's like 2B of ARPGs. JRPGs, I guess. Is Nier JRPG? I don't think it is. It's more like a hack and slash. I'm not sure, honestly. And yeah, this tiny little smile. She did it. She's a good alchemist, actually. I wasn't mistaken. She's worthy of me teaching her. And also a very interesting way for the scent to work. You sprinkle some scented dust and it just clings to the object and gives it a scent. I guess that would explain why it lasted this long. And I guess that would also explain why it's used on clothes, because they retain that scent also for fairly long. But it's not really an incense, is it? That's not how you use incense. You burn incense. You don't just sprinkle it like your Salt Bay in your failing restaurant. Thanks to your medicine, I should be able to take a long walk. So that ointment isn't just for, point injuries, right? You have a sprained ankle, you smear some of it, it's gonna heal your sprained ankle, and it's also gonna mend your bones and take fatigue away from your muscles. What happened to the kid that got the ointment spread in his wound on his leg? Did he get, like, I don't know, +5 years to live or something? Have the effects of this ointment been studied? Time for the 3 brats to have a reunion. It's actually the 4 brats now. You're a brat, Claudia. You're a brat. You're a fucking Mesagaki like the rest of us. Alchemy really is wonderful. It is. It is. And she's ready to play some music. Very eloquent. Such a pretty sound. I mean, to be fair, she did say that she doesn't know a lick about music, so... is it just me, or is this episode a prime shipping material for Ryza and Claudia? Am I just this deranged by now from years of watching anime and reading fanfiction that I see shipping opportunities everywhere? Or is it like an actual thing in a fandom where people also, people other than me, ship those two? Now we just need to find the courage to go adventuring with them. I hope it happens. I hope Claudia gets her fair share of adventuring with the others as well. As the 4th brat of the village. One thing that... that was episode 3, first of all. One thing that came to me after watching that ending again is I hope there's not gonna be a plot point. I think there might be, but I hope there isn't. Or maybe I hope there is, because it depends how it goes. Where Claudia's father is like, okay, we're done our trading in this city, time to move on to some other one. Or time to move back to the big city headquarters or something like that. And there's that whole drama of Claudia not wanting to leave, but her father says so, and, that kind of family drama. It might very well be the case, and I wonder how would they solve it? Would they let Claudia stay? Would be nice. Would be nice. Or maybe the merchant will just not move out and Claudia will not move out either. That would be, of course, preferable. Although, especially with Lent, it feels to me like there might be some character quest lines, essentially, in the game. Every follower, every team member, so to speak, has a quest line associated with them that perhaps culminates with their gear being upgraded or their stats being higher, or something like that, kind of like in Mass Effect and whatnot. Lent very much seems like a prime example for that. Having to help him in his family situation, that very much feels like a companion quest. For Claudia, getting her to start adventuring feels like a companion quest. I'm not sure about Tao, but I think we might find something sometime in the future. Perhaps it's going to be as simple as just going to scavenge some writing samples from some ruins or something that Tao wants to learn from, and we need to go there and help him, and that's the companion quest. I don't know, I'm just completely spitballing here. I'm just making predictions for things that might not even hold true. So we'll see. We'll see. Anything else that needs to be mentioned about this episode? I don't think so. I think I said everything I needed to say. That I like the characters, I like their dynamic, I really like the fact that Ryza is not hiding the fact she's an alchemist. I wonder if that might come to bite her in the ass. People learning that she's an alchemist and either swarming her with requests or maybe shunning her a little bit. Because she's the other, she's the different, and she dares to venture outside of the island. That whole thing with not leaving the island still feels very cultish to me, so I can really see that being the case. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Who's to say? Who's to say? Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic of this episode, but maybe you guys do. And if you do have something to say about this episode, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? My reaction, my theory, stuff like that. No spoilers from the game, please. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord is here, also linked in the description. You can join it and talk spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ryza no Atelier, but also Helk Zom 100 Undead Girl Murder Farce, and Nanatsu no Makengashi Haisuru, and other shows coming at you in the future. And I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon for my gacha streams, yes, and Gunpla build streams. One of them will happen this very weekend, so you might want to stay tuned for that. Support the channel if you want monetarily, Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows. None of them are currently running, but there will be. Madoka Magica, for example, Symphogear ended, but other show will take its place eventually. And for just a single dollar a month, you get your role on the Discord and a place in the credits that you will see shortly. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons: QB Without a Net, Fruitze, Rainer, Akamancer, Yuki Ally, Fassel, Dr. Walt, Marsh, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without the need to alchemize that.